Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! Up you wake, up you wake, up you wake, up you wake! This is Mr. Senior Love Daddy, your voice of choice. The world's only 12-hour strong man on the air. Here on We Love
Films
108 FM. The last on your dial, but first in your hearts. And that's the truth. Root. Here I am. Am I here? You know it. You know. This is Mr. Senior Love Daddy doing the nasty to your ears to the nasty. Eyes only play the platters that matter, the matters they platter. And that's the Root.
From the heart of Bed-Stuy, you're listening to We Love
Films.
Doing the yin and the yang, the hip and the hop, the stupid fresh thing, the flippity flop.
Movies. We watch movies. You listen to us talk about movies that we watched without you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Now this is podcasting. So, what have you done today?
What have I done today?
Like, what is your morning consisted of?
So I woke up at 5 a.m., probably 4:30 a.m.
I like the start.
And then I went to produce Work in Progress.
Right.
The Mino and Justin Montemayor experiment on Sundays.
And how do you like that?
It's good. It's fun. I did a game show, and
What was the game?
it was sort of a newlywed game to see if how well Monty and Mino knew each other. And it was pretty fun. Kept it sportsy and tickety, you know.
Did they know each other?
Yeah, I mean, they've known each other for a long time.
But
they do
like-
their own podcast. But, like, you know, just a fun, you know, it's a fun little game.
Was any of the answers making whoopee?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
That would be in the butt, Bob.
It wasn't that kind of dating game. It was more like what's your co-host's like sports hero, or what's your co-host's least favorite drop or most embarrassing ticket moment.
Okay.
A lot of them were a little obvious.
Let's play this right
You want
now.
to play a dating game with you two?
Let's do it.
Okay,
All right,
let's.
we can type our answers on the phone.
Let me find my questions. I'll do some more of the general questions and the sports ones, because I mean, I don't know. We can do all these. You want to?
You can change some from sports to movies.
Oh,
If
okay.
you
I mean, I only have like 3 sportsy ones, so let me see here. Okay, so first question: who's your co-host's sports hero?
Sports hero?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I know what am I
you're saying what
saying
Adams would be.
what Adams is, and should I also
Yes,
say
you should
what
also-
mine
yeah,
is,
you should also
or
write-
should I say what I think Adam would
Yes,
put for mine?
you're gonna do what you think Adam would put for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, okay.
So yeah, write down what you think Spencer would think yours is, and then write down what yours is, or write down what you think Spencer's is.
Okay.
This is the newlywed game here.
I'm texting it to you.
Well, don't text to him.
I've texted it to Trey.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can just say it. Oh,
Yeah, we'll say it. I've got them written out, so you know it's
Okay.
legit.
Yeah.
No cheating
I
on this
trust
show.
you.
Okay.
All right. What do you think Spencer's was, Adam?
I think it was Dirk Nowitzki.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought that you would say it was Michael Phelps.
Oh.
Well, but that's
Looks
that's
like
kind
you
of not the right answer.
Right. No, that's
Bummer.
That's why Dirk Nowitzki is.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I got it right.
He did get it right, but I was trying to like meta
You played
game.
yourself.
Yeah. You're
So-
trying to be too smart for it.
Adam does
40
know me.
chess.
Ooh.
All right.
What do you
You
think
trumped it.
Adams was?
I put Tony Romo for Adams, but it might also be
Yeah.
it might be close for Dirk Nowitzki.
He
Yeah, I
he
put
put
Dirk.
Dirk.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Well,
all right.
this doesn't need to be on the podcast.
No, we can do more. We can do more of these.
Let's do a movies one.
What's
Let's do
your
a movie.
co-host's favorite movie?
All right, so are we putting...
Yeah, we know. I think.
Yeah, what do you think their favorite movie is, and what the real answer is? Or I
Okay.
guess what? Yeah.
This will show if I was really paying attention.
Yeah,
to,
exactly. The first episode. If you're really listening.
I know Adam will get mine because he has said it before.
Okay.
Alrighty, I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
Spencer, what is Adam's favorite movie?
The Shining.
Incorrect.
Damn it!
Ooh.
That was close. I have Inglourious Bastards as my favorite movie to watch. It's not the best movie.
Yeah.
All right, and then Spencer's is Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It's not Pee-wee's.
Not
Playhouse.
Pee-wee's. That's a
It's
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. We'll give it
okay.
to him.
Okay.
My My mistake.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. All right. I've never seen... Oh, I have in parts. I never liked Pee-wee, though.
Man, you should watch it.
Why didn't you like Pee-wee?
He's just so... I don't know.
You don't like him as a
He's
character?
a little silly. He's a little silly.
Yeah, I hate when people are silly characters.
I do, too. I like serious movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's true. Yes.
Serious movies. All right. What is your co-host's favorite TV show?
Okay.
Write that down.
I was going to throw out a hint. It's not The Good Place.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put The Good Place.
No. God, what is my... I don't even know what my favorite... There's possibly two for Adam.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with... I'm going to just stick to my gut on one.
Jeez.
I was quicker to pick Adam's than my own.
Yeah. What does
Maybe
that
it's
say?
because mine's a little bit more introspective and requires some thinking.
Oh, what are you saying?
Could you play
Adams?
some, maybe some like thinking music? All right,
you got it. Adam, what is Spencer's favorite TV show?
I'm just gonna say Breaking Bad.
I put Game of Thrones.
That was the other one that I was debating.
Yeah.
Spencer, what's Adam's?
I put Breaking Bad.
It is The Wire.
That's the other one.
No. Man, how long have you guys been friends?
Not long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
do you want to do
now
a
that we
few
have all
more?
these answers down.
One more? Few more?
One more.
Let's do one more.
Come
All
on.
right.
It seems like you really wanted this last
This is
one.
a fun one. What would you say your co-hosts... What would your co-host say is their best feature?
Oh, God.
Best feature.
I know what I would say is Adam's best feature.
Is dick. Is
No,
that usually
Trey,
the
it's
answer you play?
personalities.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jeez. What would your co-host say is their best feature? Not what you think it is, but what they think it is.
Is it?
I have a feeling Adam won't put this, but I'm just going to throw out a little what I think.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait. Also,
Is it-
just to confirm, what I think is my best feature.
No. What you... hold on.
I am guessing what Adam would
Yes,
say
yes.
is his best feature.
Yes. So
Okay.
what Adam would think is your
My best physical
Wait.
feature?
It doesn't have to be physical.
So
Anything.
if you're asking Adam, what's your best physical feature, and I'm trying to guess what Adam is going to say, and vice
Yes.
versa. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I got it.
All right.
Cool.
Spencer?
What do I think Adam would say his
Yeah.
best feature is? His sense of humor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say Spencer's is sense of humor.
I put big ol' hands.
Okay, that's a good one too.
There you go.
That's great.
That was the Super FilmsCast 64 Newlywed game for this week, round one. I didn't take any points, but there are no winners in Super FilmsCast 64.
Well, it was
Wow.
one. We only got the last one right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll throw in big hands. It's the same as sense of humor. So
Okay, yeah, that's a sense of humor.
They are so funny how
I've
big
never
they
seen your.
hilarious.
I've never seen your hands. I
Pretty
guess
big, meaty.
my hands. You say my hands are big too, but I've not been told I had big hands.
are. Did I say you had big
Yeah,
hands?
you said I had big hands.
Maybe
once.
I did. I have small hands.
I'm
Yeah,
told
you do.
almost.
I got little
constantly.
Trump hands.
You got little Trumpy hands.
Mhm.
You know who has the smallest hands? Besides
Babies?
Donald Trump, Mike Marshall. Have you ever looked at his hands? They are.
Well,
teeny
I've
hands.
spent a lot of time looking at his hands.
Yeah.
That's a small hands name. You can
Yeah.
tell. Someone named Mike Marshall.
Small hands.
Little mittens.
Yeah, little mittens. All right, well, that is Super FilmsCast 64 for this week. Thanks, guys, for coming in for that. That was fun.
It's a
Yeah.
great start.
Yeah. Well, this is the movie podcast of record, the movie podcast of choice, the most, the host, the I need to remember the whole Samuel L. Jackson monologue from Do the Right Thing for this podcast. I need to
Oh,
just
yeah.
do that. Yeah.
That'd
that
be-
whole thing.
You could just do that and add it to now
The
this is-
beginning?
yeah, and just put film in there whenever.
Yeah. That, I mean, I think they did that
Playing
for
your
It's Just
favorite films.
films. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun. That would be fun. Say films, Spencer.
Films.
There you go.
Nice and throaty for
Yeah,
you.
films.
Films.
We got enough of Adam in the intro. We need more Spencer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, films. All right, we'll do that for this week maybe. Yeah, anyway, this is the FilmsCast where we talk about video. What have you guys
You're NPR
been
in today,
playing?
Trey.
Yeah. I mean,
What have we been playing?
What have you been watching on the TV screens?
I'll tell you what I've been playing on my DVD player.
Sure.
I watched Star Wars: A New Hope.
All right.
We're gonna talk about that. I watched. Lexi and I saw 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
How was that?
I would say it's like a B. I'll give it a B.
Okay.
It's good. It was good. The characters are really good. There are parts of the story that dragged for me, but overall, really, really good performances were the standout for me. Oh gosh, what else have we watched a bunch of stuff. I watched Jim and Andy.
Okay.
I feel like I'm forgetting something, but those are the big ones.
How did you like Jim and Andy?
Jim and Andy again it sort of dragged for me after a while, but it was super interesting. Really, I mean, I really liked the movie. So it was cool to see some of the behind the scenes footage and hear the stories about how like Universal was like preventing this from coming out because they didn't want people to think that Jim Carrey's an asshole.
Well, I think in the post, I don't know if it's post credits even, but Jim Carrey's saying that to Bob Zamuda and is like yanking his chain about it.
Oh,
so
well, I haven't.
So
I've
got
like 10 minutes left in it. To be honest.
Yeah. So I don't think it actually was not released. I think that's just included in the trailer as a little okey doke.
Okay, I gotcha. But it was really cool. Him as Tony Clifton walking around.
Yeah.
Was hilarious. Yeah, it was really interesting. And what was I was
Tony Clifton is such a weird character. You know, just like an interesting character you could play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that character.
Yeah.
Because he's just such an asshole.
You can just do whatever you want.
Oh, the thing that was so interesting. It's crazy to think about how Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and what was the third?
Truman Show.
The third movie that came out all in the same year.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
All in the same year. And then all of a sudden he's commanding like tens of millions of dollars per movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like I
mean,
think
I guess you could rope Batman in there as well. You know, him playing the Riddler. I don't know if that was close enough, but I mean yeah, like those are the three big.
He was taking in so much money, and I can't think of another comedic actor that would carry movies the way that
Will Ferrell.
He did.
I think that's the closest thing,
Yeah.
but I think to that extent,
degree.
it's never going to happen again.
No,
Right.
Just because the monoculture's being destroyed, and there's no such thing as the monoculture anymore, guys. Everything's in niche form, so you're not going to have just a gigantic universal star who will be able to like draw eyes to it. Like
and I think
Jim Carrey did.
Once you do, people turn on them very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and I started American Vandal. I'm about 4 and a half episodes in.
American Vandal's very good.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's really good.
It's so
very
well
well
done. I mean, they follow all the same tropes, but it's something you could have that idea and easily execute it like kind of half-assed and not thought out, but everything is very tight, and it's the way that they're able to balance like the serious tone with the absolute like immature humor is fantastic.
They do a good job of planting red herrings everywhere and kind of planting dead leads.
You're right.
Because I think a show like that could get into a rut of everything is connected, but they do a good job of giving you false leads, and they're going to spend a whole bunch of time on this thing, which goes nowhere, but that's how a real documentary would be if it was filmed like this.
Yeah, it's also kind of the way that Leslie Nielsen was found as a dramatic actor and then brought into comedies where taking it seriously is the funniest thing that you can do. And it allows for more situational things, even if it's not quite as laugh out loud funny. You're just like, oh, this is super interesting, and you kind of get into it, and then you're like, oh, they're talking about where the ball hair is on this thing.
Look at that mushroom head. Like
right, yeah.
It's so good. So how many episodes are in that?
I think there's 7 or 8,
Something like that.
So I'm
Not
about
that
halfway.
long. Yeah.
I'm excited to see how everything wraps up.
I think I watched like some of it on my overnight shift, and right after I went home and watched the rest. So it's not too long of a watch.
Yeah.
Should be good. Yeah. All right, Adam, what have you been watching?
I watched Lady Bird.
Okay.
I went and saw that.
I need to go see that now since you two've seen it.
It's pretty good. I think I would have connected to it a lot better if, one, I was a girl. I think that would have helped a lot. Or two, if I had gone away for college, I think I would have connected, because that's a big plot point in the movie. And
there are, I don't mean to interrupt you. Keep going. I'm sorry. It seems like there are a lot of movies that I wish I could, or even like games. Like there's this game called Night in the Woods. There's a lot of things like that where I wish I could connect to more, but just because I went to UNT and I still live with my parents and I've had a really good relationship with my parents, I can't connect as well to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't regret having a good relationship with your parents.
Connect
just
with the
be like,
more.
Mom, why are you so supportive of me? I need you to hate it so my art can come through.
Why didn't you, the whole South Park episode where Mr. Garrison was pissed that his dad never molested him?
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't be mad about that.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's good to see movies like that, and have them be made, because they're, I don't know, I guess there's just so many things that I kind of take for granted to be like, oh yeah, this is me and I can see myself in this.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way to look at it. You know, like kind of, okay, I have it well. I shouldn't, be too.
I mean, it's not even not having it well. It's just, I'm not the intended target audience to this. Whatever. Okay. But it's really well written. The acting's pretty good. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a actress nomination or two.
Yeah, I could say the mother getting a supporting actress nomination.
Yeah. But overall, I would say it's probably not an Oscar movie.
Not exactly.
I don't think it's like a Best Picture movie.
No.
But it's pretty good, and I think it's worth seeing. Like I would suggest to females to like go see it with their moms.
Yeah,
that's what Lexi did.
My sisters are in town. I told them that they should go see the movie with my mom.
They should.
Yeah.
And my sister's about to come in town, and so I'm going to suggest the same thing.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. There's even if you can't connect with it totally emotionally, I think there's enough humor in it to where it's still an enjoyable movie for just about anybody.
What's one movie that not necessarily you didn't like, but you just didn't connect with it because it either was from a different time, it was dealing with like politics and issues of a different time, or it was, and I'll give you my example, or like just maybe the people you just couldn't connect with, but it's a good movie, you just couldn't connect with it. Mine is Easy Rider. Like I watched the movie and I recognized it was a good movie, but I'm like, I don't connect with these characters. I don't really understand I understood what was going on, but I just couldn't connect with kind of what they were going through, because this was, 60s. These were like beatnik culture kids, and going into the 60s into like very rural and southern. I think it was Louisiana, and it was just so. It felt like a movie for a time period I didn't belong to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say for me, it's probably Monsters vs. Aliens, because I am neither a monster nor an alien. I'm a human man, and I just could not.
Well,
I didn't know what side to pick. It wasn't like Alien vs. Predator, where no matter who wins, we lose. Like,
right. I mean, I was really gearing up a joke answer as well.
Yeah.
But
got to be faster.
God, you can't go joke answer.
No.
Maybe like I think there are some times if I'm watching like a Vietnam War movie or something like Apocalypse Now. I can still appreciate that it's an awesome movie, but just not really being a part of that whole of the counterculture, or just being around then to really understand like the gravity of the Vietnam War. It might not resonate with me as well as it would have with the audiences when it came out.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like how Moby Dick came out and nobody enjoyed it, and then World War either 1 or 2 happened and everybody came back, and then people were like, oh yeah, we get this idea of a fruitless journey. And then it became a huge thing.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty much all I watched. I also watched Star Wars.
Yeah, yep, I watched Star Wars, and last night I watched Tropic Thunder.
Oh
yeah, I mean I've seen it before, but
right.
it was
speaking
fun
of Vietnam.
Yeah, kind of.
Right,
and that's another movie about making movies, which I think I like those kind of movies, because like Brigsby Bear recently watched and thought was great. This, I realized how much I like this movie, and then Disaster Artist coming out, which I'm excited for. So,
how does Robert Downey Jr. hold up?
It's like, I justify it in the way that there are characters who point it out in the movie.
Right.
And so it's like, it doesn't bother me as maybe much as it should. I think it's fine. It's not, I don't know. It's still weird, but...
Has he ever come out and said anything about how he feels about that role? No?
I don't know if he said anything recently. I know he did get nominated for an Oscar for it.
And who was presenting him that was very, like... I remember the presenter was very agitated about it, him being nominated or something. Like, he was not cool with it. I don't know, man. It's still kind of cringy.
But that's the point. Though.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I'm fine with it. It's just, I feel like I don't know what I should think about it. It's one of those things like, am I supposed to be all right with this? Because I'm not too upset about it. Should I be upset? I don't know what to think.
I mean, I
need people to tell me.
No one in this room can be an authority on whether you're allowed to laugh at that. So.
Right.
Also, Trey.
Yeah.
The people of Twitter are clamoring to ask us some questions.
Oh.
We just got to give them the avenue.
Yeah. I always forget that, don't I?
So, did you watch anything else, Trey? Just Star Wars and Tropic Thunder?
No, that was all I watched besides Star Wars. I've been playing games, I beat Wolfenstein 2, which is pretty much a movie. It would be a very B movie, but because it's a video game, it's really awesome. The story is really crazy and cool. It's one of those, and I always hate this saying, but it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It's a story that can only be done with video games, where it's just ridiculous enough to work in a video game. I think if it was done in real life, it'd be a little... I think like Tarantino could do it, but it would be a little far-fetched. There's I don't want to spoil it, but there's some really insane parts where you're just like, okay, I'll go with it. It's pretty cool. It really makes you feel for the characters too. They do a great job of character development in this game, and so you really do care about BJ Blazkowicz, and you care about, and there's some cool stuff, like a lot of it takes place in Mesquite, which is crazy. That's where he's from, Mesquite, and I guess the whole...
Mesquite, Texas?
Yeah, Mesquite, Texas. Oh. And I guess the whole thing is that I want to say id, or I got this wrong last time. But yeah, I think it's id who had the original license, but they're from Mesquite. That's where they originated. Doom and Wolfenstein and all that.
Gotcha.
And so, there was sort of an homage to them. So they put some of it. Now, it didn't really portray Mesquite in a great way. I mean, it's very farmland and country, and there's a lot of mountains for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, those Mesquite Mountains.
Mesquite Mountains that's so famous for.
The Far East Rockies.
Yeah. And I just kind of took it as, hey, it's alternate history, Nazi ruled America in 1960. It's not gonna you're not gonna see a Whataburger and a Blockbuster video on the side of the road. It's not gonna be like that.
Maybe the mountains were from all the fracking. That started popping up.
Yeah, that's commentary right there.
I forgot one that I watched. I watched Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
In the Disaster Artist book,
yeah,
it's a movie that Tommy Wiseau is super into, and so I decided to...
That kind of makes sense.
It makes the most amount of sense.
I want to be Matt Damon.
Right, exactly.
It's Matt Damon.
Yeah. They're talking about... He basically is Matt Damon and is Hollywood... No, I'll just kind of fake it and just I'll do my own thing and it'll happen for me. That movie's really, really good.
Yeah.
I remember always hearing about it. Like, I wasn't old enough to see it, but I always remembered just hearing about it.
Have you seen it?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it's worth checking out. It's very similar to Ingrid Goes West, the movie, the Aubrey Plaza movie from earlier this year, except it takes it further and is better, much better.
Yeah. R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's in it. And so was the young Pope, Jude Law's in it, right?
Yeah, yep. Jude Law, that's his American breakout role.
Ooh.
Is it?
Yeah, he was nominated for an Oscar for that, and he's a hunky boy.
And to think he would one day go on to play the young Pope.
Yeah, I know. The best role of them all. And he's also going to play young Dumbledore.
Yeah, young Dumbledore and full of Cumbledore.
Yeah, he was.
Young?
I mean,
God.
if you...
That's really
know.
good.
I didn't mean it that way. All right.
You didn't know I was talking about the full of Cumbledore.
Yeah.
I think he meant it that
No,
way.
I said full of yeah.
No, okay.
No, I said, yeah, he was full of Cumbledore.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
I was too busy laughing.
At the cum.
So my hearing went.
Going on to news?
Yes.
All right. We have some stuff that, because we didn't really do news last week, I saved some items from it. Speaking of young Dumbledore and full of Cumbledore, Fantastic Beasts sequel.
Oh. I still haven't seen Fantastic
Ooh,
Beasts.
when am I not going to see that?
Yeah. Crimes of Grindelwald, Johnny Depp to star.
People are mad.
Yeah,
People are very
mad
mad.
because he threw a phone at Amber Heard.
Oh, no.
Which, don't throw phones at people. But Russell Crowe can
Unless
throw...
you're, like, tossing them, you know? Like, here's my phone. Here, make a call.
Right.
Even then, that's pretty reckless. You could break your phone.
We got a border. I have a OtterBox. I could just easily throw it at you.
I'm just saying, like, your phone, something could happen. Anyways.
I have to say, probably the biggest, like, groan of a reveal that I've ever had in a movie is when it's revealed that Johnny Depp was Colin Farrell the whole time.
Yeah, that's so just bizarre.
Right.
I mean, I guess, but I think if it
Are they
were
rewriting who Grindelwald is? Because I thought through like the 7th book, you kind of reveals who he is and kind of the whole backstory between him and Dumbledore. And it sounds like this movie's rewriting that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This one I know is Fantastic Beasts is not a book adaptation, but it's like it's of the lore basically.
Yeah, there was a book that came out in the early 2000s called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was like it was very thin.
It's like a pamphlet.
It was like pamphlet encyclopedia.
It was like just a list of fake animals that they had, and it's referenced in the books as a textbook that Hermione.
That's interesting.
Gets.
And the main character of the movie is the author of the book.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, y'all didn't. This came out before pre-podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
That was one of the sloppiest screenplays, and that's like the first J.K.
Really
Rowling
bad.
screenplay, right?
Yeah.
Like how is
Kind of. I mean, would you count the Cursed Child a screenplay? Because that was her.
No, because it wasn't on screen.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. All right.
It's so interesting that somebody can write. I didn't read the books, but I would imagine they were pretty good.
I loved them. I love them over the
liked
movies.
the books.
I enjoyed the books writing until probably the 5th book.
Oh, the 5th?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the 5th. I think the 6th, I was a little bit, okay, this is a little
She's
off.
a better world builder than she is a writer.
Right,
Which
because-
actually may be something we say about George Lucas as well.
Yep. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a pretty nice little tie in there. But gosh, that is one of the sloppiest screenplays. That was one of the worst movies I'd seen in theaters.
Yeah.
I still
for a
need to
while.
watch it, yeah.
I
need to watch it.
I don't know if you do.
As
I
a
don't
Harry,
really don't.
I've read, dude, I used to go to midnight book releases, like be
Right.
first in line. Like I used to go on message boards and go do fan theories, and I would mark in my books with highlighters. Like I was a fucking nerd.
Right.
Like, I need to see it.
So are you trying to just like soil the entire?
Right.
I don't honestly. I never thought the movies were that great in general.
They
I thought
were better than this.
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh really? I thought they were fine. And I guess maybe this is just how most people who read books before they see a movie react. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But I just, there are some things I really liked. I like that all three. I think we've done a Harry Potter, which I forgot to mention, so I'll mention it later. But I mean, we did kind of a Harry Potter retrospective episode very early on.
Yeah.
So I think kind of maybe I'm repeating things, but I enjoyed that all. Pretty much the whole cast was intact. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I thought they got better as actors as it went on.
Yeah.
And I think towards the end, it started to find its footing and its sort of direction, which was pretty cool. But, I thought they left a lot of stuff out, which was integral. Like the 4th movie I felt like was a disaster. I felt like they left so much out, and they didn't really make it make sense.
Which one was the fourth?
Goblet of Fire.
That's also like a 750-page book.
Yeah, I know, but they should have made that into two.
That wasn't even a thing. Like splitting
wasn't.
books into two was
that was a Harry Potter thing. Harry Potter was the first one
that
did that, and then Twilight did it.
The sixth,
and then,
right?
Yeah, no, the seventh. They did.
The seventh, right? Yeah, I remember some people were pissed off about that, where they're like, "Oh, you're just trying to get money," but it's like, but some of those movies could have been so much better.
Oh yeah,
as two.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, maybe watch it before I go on and like just shit
no,
on it.
I've seen the CinemaSins, and I'm spoiled on it. You can go shit on it if you want. I don't care.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All right.
And go on.
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. That movie, I wouldn't suggest watching it.
Okay.
Right.
I wouldn't.
All right.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi runtime is out. 150 minutes, the longest of the series.
Oh, wow.
By like 10 minutes, though, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all like 220.
Right.
The first one was like 150. That wasn't a very long movie. The New Hope.
Mm. I mean, all the prequels
they
were
long.
like over
very
2 hours.
long. Yes.
They didn't need to be that long.
But I don't know. That's just whatever. There's going to be a lot of it.
Are you guys worried it's going to be just retreading Empire?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to see it.
I mean, yeah. I'm always asked, like, people ask me, like, so are you so excited for the new movie? I'm like, I want to see it. I'm excited, but I'm not going to have a bad day if it's not a good movie.
I think the parts where it retread from A New Hope in Force Awakens are kind of the plot lines that die. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the like through lines I think are very different.
Yes, definitely. With sort of man, I'm dying today. The
Adam
villain,
Driver,
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Kylo Ren and Snoke and sort of his struggle, and then you got Luke and Rey. Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of those are very different.
So while there may be similar elements, just because it's a Star Wars movie, and there's going to be whatever X-wing fights and all that, I think there could be some similar stuff. But for the most part, I think I'm not afraid of it being a retread. I'm still afraid of it being bad.
Yeah,
but I don't think it'll be a retread.
Will you get a Rey, I Am Your Father by Luke?
Oh, God. I hope not.
Yeah, that would be pretty weak.
Yeah.
Is this going to be another example of this franchise has kind of lost its ability to? I guess it did with the prequels. There's always these big reveals or whatnot, and they do a terrible job of masking them. I mean, obviously, like Anakin turns into Darth Vader. They don't try to mask that, but then there's the Padme is actually. What's her Natalie Portman the entire time, and then
I think
everything is just such a and so now obviously Luke is going to, I guess, probably go on towards the dark side is what everything is looking like.
I think that for the prequels, it's just a matter of writing to an end and working backwards versus just kind of, we'll see where this character goes.
Right.
We'll probably talk about this later, but Darth Vader was never originally supposed to be Luke's father.
Right, and you could definitely tell that through the New Hope. There was a lot of, and I stopped writing them down after a while because there was. We'll get to it. Sorry, we'll get to it later.
So it's just a difference where they were like, "Oh, this would be cool. This would be an interesting thing," and there was enough stuff that worked with it
sense
to make it happen, as opposed to kind of working back and be like, okay, so he ends up here. What could happen to do that?
Yeah.
Get Out submitted to the Golden Globes as a comedy movie.
This happened like right after our last podcast, or not like two podcasts
ago.
Yeah, comedy. Now, I heard something about Jordan Peele.
He tweeted out that it's not. He's like, it's not a comedy; it's a documentary.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
Yeah.
Now, how does that work? Does not the Academy, but does the committee decide, or
no? They submit for what they think it is.
Do you think that they submit it as comedy because it's more likely to win in that category?
Yeah,
100%.
And because I think that whole category is turned into, here are the kind of cool, fun movies,
right?
That probably won't get that drama buzz.
I mean, it was definitely like a dark comedy. There are
there's
overtly funny elements.
I mean, it's dark. You don't have to say dark, but yeah. Oh my god, that was an amazing gulp.
I've never heard a gulp that good.
That was amazing.
Anyways,
but I think Get Out is way more of a comedy than
a drama
than Martian.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, the only thing funny about Martian is that he's eating out of his own poop.
Right. I would consider Get Out a drama if I had to pick one or the other. A horror movie, I guess. I
would say more sci-fi horror.
Yeah,
but horror.
I'd say more thriller.
All right, shut the hell up.
But like I could see it as a comedy.
Yeah,
like you can sell that as a comedy.
Yeah,
as much as I don't know. I guess Scream probably isn't the best example of something similar.
Scream one is a decent parallel,
right?
There are less overtly humorous elements, but it's
less overtly satirical too. It wasn't deconstructing the medium as Get Out was.
It's still like a meta horror movie, but it's
because there is just one plot line that is essentially just a comedy plot line with Lil Ray, his TSA friend.
But he was very important to the plot though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But
That's
what I liked about that character is that he was very integral to the plot.
Right.
It wasn't just like throwaway kind of comedy.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Hang on, go on. I'll think about it.
All right.
Okay. So Golden Globes nominations are coming out. I think it's January, and I think that we should do something similar to our Oscar picks.
Yeah.
And we can do that. The event is scheduled for January 7th, so the nominations come out
today.
Yeah. When do the nominations come out? It should be fairly soon. So
you want to do like a poll who's going to get nominated?
We can do that. Not today,
okay.
But
the Golden Globes are going to be
nominations will be announced December 11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
December 11th.
And Golden Globes, I would say we just do movies and not TV and movies.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a whole lot more stuff.
Yeah.
There's not as many categories, but
we're just doing it by what movie is going to get the most nominations,
right?
Not necessarily like what category. Also, Spencer, I brought this up earlier before you came on the podcast, but for next year, I want to do I used to try to watch 100 movies in a year.
Okay.
And I want to do a kind of a competition between us where we try to watch 100 movies in a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think a fun way to spice that up would be we each watch 100 movies and then we fight over who watched the better movies.
Okay.
So we
can do that. Oh boy. It's a lot of little pieces to it.
And so that might take like a couple months to debate. But it could be a pretty fun little project.
Jeez. All right. You're joking.
I do think that's a fun idea.
Okay.
And
I think I've probably watched 100 this year, just through this podcast and doing the video game film school stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely watched more this year. Lexi and I do go to the movies. I've always gone pretty regularly, but this has definitely got me watching more older movies and definitely trying to go to the theater like every week.
Yeah, same here.
So that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. All right.
James Franco has 25 minutes of shot-for-shot remake of The Room left over from the Disaster Artist that he's planning on releasing at some point as some sort of content, which is amazing.
So this movie is going to be the gift that keeps on giving, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think that would just be the best part, just to do it seriously and totally remake it Psycho style.
Yeah, I think this might be the first and only movie I ever buy on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I might buy this on Blu-ray and maybe a few others this year. I don't know.
Ooh, what else? What do you?
I don't know. I'm thinking about getting Brigsby Bear just to give those guys a few more dollars.
Yeah. Support independent art.
And then I thought about Baby Driver just to hear like audio commentary, but I don't know.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be a good one for the commentary.
I texted the James Franco number that we've been calling, which you don't need to worry about calling this time, Trey.
Yeah,
because it's still the same. And in the call it says, "Hey, text me, and I may answer."
Oh, you're gonna
text
him?
I may answer you. I texted him, and it says, "Call me."
Oh.
So it's just a loop.
Well,
Where you
maybe that was actually James saying, "I will answer for this phone number."
No,
You want to call him?
maybe. No, we don't
Okay.
need to call him. The Man Who Killed Don Quixote may finally come out. Do you guys know the story of the man who killed Don Quixote?
I do not.
No.
So there's a documentary about it. It's called Man of La Mancha.
Uh-huh.
And this movie, Terry Gilliam of Monty Python and
Yes.
Brazil and all that kind of fame, he started working on this movie in 1998, I think was the first time they were supposed to shoot, and it was about Johnny Depp going back in time and then hooking up with Don Quixote of book lore. And
Wait, like sexually?
no,
Or-
just
okay.
like
Hanging out.
just going
Being
off
bros.
to
Ventures.
do
Got it.
something. The production was stopped by floods and hail, and one of the main characters got seriously hurt, and so they just scrapped it, and they took $18 million in insurance money, and they said, forget it. And then some other things happened that didn't quite get it. So then they tried again in 2008, and one of the main characters got cancer during it, so they just scrapped it again. And then they finally were going to shoot in 2016, and there was like money funding problems. So in general, it's just seen in Hollywood as the movie that is just stuck in limbo and will never get made, and so they finished it. It's cut. They just need
Awesome.
they just need to do graphics and sound
They're gonna
with
just-
it, and it's gonna come out next year. You guys should watch Man of La Mancha because it's really kind of cool look into movie making experience and how just every single thing goes wrong.
Awesome. Yeah,
during
that
it.
sounds great.
So that's pretty cool.
And when's the last? What was the last Terry Gilliam movie that came out?
Was it
Was it Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus?
Man,
I feel like there's one after that.
I do get Terry Gilliam and Danny Boyle confused. So I'm going to look here.
I think
Terry
he
Gilliam.
may have come out with something last year.
I always, again, I get those two confused. So let me check here. I did have to explain to a French person Terry Gilliam the other night at dinner. My sister's.
What was the context?
My sister was dating a French guy, and I was talking about movies. He was like, "Oh, do you know any French movies?" And I'm like, "The only movies with French people in are Monty Python, The Holy Grail."
Okay, it was the Zero Theorem in 2013.
Oh,
Okay.
with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
Yes, with Christoph Waltz. And then it's got Lucas Hedges, who was the first boyfriend in Lady Bird,
Right.
who has been in a bunch of stuff this year.
Yeah. After killing it in Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, he's also in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh, there you go.
A critical darling.
Critical darling.
Okay, so now to box office stuff. The winner this week was Coco, $49 million.
Yes.
When I went this weekend, there was a ton of people there seeing Coco, and I was kind of surprised.
What was the demographic?
Kids?
There was a lot of kids,
Is that what you're asking, Trey?
Yeah, I'm totally
a lot of
asking.
people in Cowboys jerseys.
Sad people.
Kids love the Cowboys.
Yeah, so also Raiders jerseys.
All right.
But there was a lot of there was the theater that I went to. There was English, Spanish, and then a Spanish dub, which was different. I heard the lady explain it, and I don't remember what the difference was. Maybe it was a Spanish subtitle or whatever. I don't know. But there's a bunch of different things, and I was real surprised it only made $49 million, considering that Justice League made $94 million.
Yeah, that's interesting. What did do we know what Inside Out made opening weekend?
That I don't know
'Cause-
how much that made.
Because I feel like that did pretty well, but then Good Dinosaur
it just
came out the
lasts.
same year,
Oh,
and it did not do well.
right.
So I don't know, is this more in the range of Inside Out or Good Dinosaur? But this one's getting much better reviews than...
And I like that kind of art style, or I guess it's more of just a cultural style, that Day of the Dead.
Uh-huh.
They had that in Mario Odyssey, actually, which was pretty neat. I think that's a cool...
It
Inside
all
Out
comes
made
back.
Yeah, it
91
goes back
million.
to video games.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big drop off for Pixar then.
Right. Second was Justice League at 40 million.
Mm-hmm. Did we all guess that?
Yes.
Okay.
So far everybody got it. Third was Wonder with 22 million. So Spencer, I'm sorry.
I did not guess
You
Wonder.
did not guess Wonder. You guessed Thor.
Damn.
Third. Thor was fourth.
Did anyone guess Wonder?
Trey and I guessed Wonder for third.
Yes.
Thor was fourth, which Trey and I did not have.
What do we guess?
You guessed Darkest Hour, which was
yeah.
released in 4 theaters. It made
Maybe
$174,000.
some people
You
really
miss
wanted to see that.
You miss 100% of the shots.
It was
you don't take.
It was gonna be like a pilgrimage, like in Mother, where they're just all there. Yeah,
Yes.
they're all gonna eat babies in the theater.
And then I picked Daddy's Home 2, which was fifth.
Oh, you're close.
So I'm
you
going to
might
give
actually-
myself
Oh!
the win.
Yep,
Okay,
I believe.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so this week is a real fun week,
Uh-oh.
actually.
Yeah.
I think the game could be very different, because this week we have The Disaster Artist finally coming out.
Ah, yes.
Which I don't... Oh, we got... Oh, no. Okay, never mind. I thought Justin may be
No, he's dead.
rolling in.
He doesn't live here anymore.
Okay,
I hope you all bought your tickets in advance for that.
I have not.
I have not.
But,
Wow.
So I'm super excited about that. I think we're going to go see it at least.
We're going to see it Thursday. If it's... We'll figure out. I might try to get like a half day on Friday. Show up late.
I gotta do improv till 9:30. So
I think we're going after that.
okay.
So maybe you'll come.
Yeah, I would love to come.
Great. So Disaster Artist, The Shape of Water also comes
I
out,
want to see that.
I do want to see
which
that.
that's getting a ton of
Yeah.
Best Picture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Could be really great.
I'm just hoping because there are like 2 Guillermo del Toros, so I'm hoping.
I
it's
keep
the good
forgetting
one.
that's coming out, and every time I hear about it, I'm excited about it.
The trailers are super.
Yeah, cool. and
It's interesting.
captivating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Wonder Wheel, which is the new Woody Allen movie with Kate
Oh,
Winslet
yeah, I don't think
and
that's gonna be
Justin
very long.
Where
Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake plays a teenage boy. It looks like
He's some sort of lifeguard.
he's like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
My God,
Okay, so
I was trying to do a Woody Allen, but I decided not to do it.
Good call.
I think maybe you should try.
I'm not very good at it. I got to get. It takes a while.
All right, we'll let you workshop it,
Yeah.
and we'll come with it next week. So, since I won, and now Trey is in last place, Trey, you get first pick.
Man, I say Coco still. I don't. Disaster Artist is great, but man, that's gonna be a niche audience. And same with Shape of the Water. It's I Coco number 1.
Yeah. I guess I'll go next. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna also go with Coco. I don't believe that it is. It's low opening total. Like something must be up. I think it's going to have sustaining power in a way that kids movies usually do.
Yeah.
And I wonder if just being off for Thanksgiving, if not as many kids went to movies.
Well,
that
Cowboys
seems,
lost, so I mean maybe they're just really upset.
Yeah,
all those
could
Cowboys
be.
fans
Yeah.
there.
I don't know.
How do the Raiders do?
I'm also going to keep it interesting and do Coco.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
All right. So now Trey, I think this is where it really gets interesting
Yes.
because
Did you say that Justice League was number 2?
Justice League had 40 million.
I'm gonna say Justice League number 2.
Okay. Justice League. I think that everyone who's wanted to see the Justice League movie
That's what I was
probably
thinking.
has.
Yeah.
I can totally see it. I could see it winning the week, but I don't know. I'm gonna do Disaster Artist
Mm-hmm.
just because
Just to mix
You
it up.
believe in it.
You
I
believe
don't.
in it.
Yeah, I want it to
Look,
happen.
if it does become second, I'm glad to lose this week. I'm
Right.
glad to lose.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like Wonder surprised me,
Yeah.
even though that was a kids movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's surprising to think that it could make, because Justice League went from 94 million to 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
So if it ends up around 20 million, I think Disaster Artist could make 20 million,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an R-rated movie.
And it's very niche. I don't think a lot of people know what The Room is.
I agree.
We do, but that's our bubble. You know?
I agree, but every time I've gone to a theater, it gets laughs.
Yeah.
Even because when I went to go see Lady Bird, they just played the trailer of him repeating the "I did not hit her, I did not," which that's something that only people that are fans of the movie would get, and people were cracking up all over.
I could see people who never seen the movie think it's just a movie about some weird guy making a movie. I could see that because it's James Franco, so you think, oh, it's got to be something weird and funny. Yeah. I don't know.
Too late to change your answer, Trey.
Yeah, because it is a Seth Rogen and I was going to say Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen and James Franco movies. So I mean, those usually do pretty well.
Let me look up. And see what. What World's End? Not World's End.
This is the end.
This is the end.
Yeah, I was going to say The Interview, but that didn't come to theaters.
Yeah, that never made it to theaters.
It was an okay movie. It wasn't bad. It was funny. I think people kind of panned it once they came out because they thought it was going to be this big statement. It's like, no, it's a stoner comedy.
Right.
What do you think?
This is the end. Made 20 million.
Ooh, okay.
All right, I'm going to make this week a little bit interesting. I'm going to take Shape of Water.
Ooh.
I'm not like confident in it.
Yeah,
but because there's not a lot else out.
Yeah,
someone might see a monster movie or something. I don't know.
So I think that's where we stop, right?
I think we probably should. Because
I will just say though, I would have picked Disaster Artist number 3, just to put it out there.
I would have picked Justice League number 3.
I would have probably picked Justice League number 3.
Okay.
All
right.
Well, I'm gonna put those down.
Okay.
In case something crazy happens.
Right. It would have to be pretty crazy because we're basically going until the first one of our guesses shows up. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, out of those, which ones are you guys planning on seeing this week? Maybe
Disaster Artist for sure.
Yeah,
I think Disaster Artist for sure.
And Shape of the Water.
I really want to see Shape of Water. I'm not positive I'll be able to see it this week, but I do want to see that in theaters.
Yeah. That's something that I would put off seeing something else new the next week to go see. And I would like to see Coco at some point.
Yeah.
I think it looks interesting.
I want to go see that with a whole bunch of kids in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't get why Jake got. I love Jake, but I don't. Like, he's great, but I don't get. He like went off on Justin because he saw the one with The Rock, Mona. Like he went off.
Moana?
Like, yeah, Moana.
Mona.
Moana is fantastic.
Yeah,
Moana's great.
Why would you watch a kids movie? That's for kids. That's weird.
No, it's a great. The music is awesome. I
need
think
to watch it.
It's my favorite as far as music, at least. It's my favorite Disney movie ever.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I love that music a lot.
I need to watch that then.
It's very good.
All right. Well,
that's it. That's it for the news.
Don't yell at me. All right, that's the news. Well, in our saga of watching all the Star Wars movies, we're now on to the original trilogy. By the way, I got a little non sequitur question. Have you guys written your top 10s or thought about your top 10 lists for movie of the year?
Top 10 Star Wars? Okay.
I have not yet, but I've been kind of thinking about all the movies that I've watched this year.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not the time or place to do it, to just talk about it. I want to have kind of our own award show sort of thing where we talk about, where we have categories that are just like best scene or just like worst fart or I don't know, just kind of whatever
fart in the movie.
The worst fart in the movie.
Maybe best movie we've seen that didn't come out this year. Because I've thought about that too.
Yeah, or all those kind of things.
Yeah, you can do both. Because I think 10 honestly might be pretty long list for a yearly list.
And after it gets like the 3 or 4, I'm just sort of like putting things in there.
Right, because they expanded the Best Picture for the Academy to what, like 8?
8.
A couple
or no,
years
they
ago?
expanded it to 10,
It's
but they
to
just
10,
put 8.
but they only fill what they feel deserves it.
Right, and I feel like every year there are a couple that are they don't really have a chance.
Sure, I'm with you. I don't really like top 10 lists either.
I think 5 is.
5 is pretty good. That's usually
5 makes it at least a little bit. You might have to fight for the 5th spot.
Yeah.
Whereas 10
I'm
is
with
like
you. It's too much. Well,
Yeah.
it's sort of filler at the end.
Yeah.
By the end. Anyway, Star Wars. I didn't mean to get off track there. Well, I did because I brought it up.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
A New Hope.
A new pope.
A young pope.
A young pope.
Yep.
Young pope.
So it starts off with a crawl.
Mm-hmm. That's a unique thing for a Star Wars movie to start off with a crawl.
And this is the first thing, and it went so well they did it for every other movie.
Mm-hmm.
It starts off really cool. Like
Yeah.
it starts just like the music coming in,
Yeah.
and the logo
Mhm.
popping.
It hits you, yeah.
It's like
really cool.
immediately engaging, and I guess that's something that where, and thinking back to the prequels, it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of a given. This is
Yes.
when the crawl comes in,
Yeah.
and the crawl is bad in a lot of them. But it's a cool way to start a movie, I think.
Yeah.
And I want to also say I really liked that at the end because I had to leave the Revenge of the Sith conversation at the end.
Oh, right.
I liked how you turned it positive because I do feel like we were very critical, as you know we should be. But I think people do tend to shit on those a lot, and I like how you guys kind of turned it positive. So I appreciated that. A lot of negativity in the world.
Yes.
Make things a little positive. So good job on that.
Okay, so the crawl is all about war
Mm-hmm.
and super weapons
Yes.
and stolen plans
Yes.
and a pursuit.
Yes.
So it sets up. That's kind of what you want the crawl to do. I feel like the movies felt like the prequels. They felt like they had to because they're Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
They have to have a crawl. When they didn't, they wanted to kind of like slow play the action.
Mm-hmm.
Where this, you're kind of jumping into a story in progress.
Yes.
Yeah, this crawl lays out the action of the movie, whereas the other crawls lay out like the politics of what's happening in the galaxy at the moment. And it's not necessarily what you're interested in with the Star Wars movies, or at least I'm not.
And I think just from a like visual metaphor perspective, the shot of the small ship being chased by the ship that just keeps going and going.
I always think of the
and going.
Spaceballs.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's in the Spaceballs things, but it does it because it works. It's a good
Yeah.
way of showing like, oh yeah, they're up against this enormous force.
Yeah.
And it's just a small little rebellion. So
When was this given the name A New Hope? Was it when it was released, or was
No,
it when the
not when it was released.
Okay, it was probably when. When was it given that name? Do you know?
I think it was given it. It may have been post the
90s releases. You think?
I
think so.
I think it got it really late.
Yeah, because I still have the 90s VHSs. I want to say it's not on there. I don't know.
Do the 90s VHSs have
The faces. They have
A New
the
Hope.
CGI and everything? Or
no, they're the originals.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I want to say they are.
that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I could bring them up and we could watch those. If you wanna...
A New Hope was added to the film in 1981
Oh, okay.
for its theatrical re-release.
Okay, 1981. Yeah, that makes sense. Once they did probably Empire, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know that they were going to make Empire after this, right?
They didn't know
Yeah.
that they were going to make
Anything else?
any other movies.
Yeah.
And actually, libertarian George Lucas used the money he made from this movie to finance the next movie because he didn't want big movie makers to get their fingers inside of his movie.
Wow.
Hey,
And so he
good call.
yeah. And so he
Yeah, wow. Huh.
Libertarianism sounds pretty good, actually.
So they go, the rebel ship being chased. The first line is spoken by C-3PO.
We're doomed.
Yeah, and they're rolling around. Darth Vader comes in to the ship and is immediately, well, I guess the stormtroopers come in first, and you have the blaster battles. How do you guys feel about the lasers?
That's the one thing I wrote. I thought the ships all looked good, but the lasers looked very old. Yeah.
And in just with so much of the like remaking stuff that he does,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting that the lasers still looked the way they do.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just because they were. I don't really even know how they did it, but just like I'm pretty sure they just kind of drew lines on the film.
Yeah,
on
I
the
think so.
physical film. And also blasters then caused a lot more explosions than they do later on. Just like every time they hit, there's just like a big thing of sparks and stuff. I think C-3PO and R2-D2 look like scratched and dirty and like they've been out in space. And in the prequels, everything looks so clean and pristine all the time. And I think that's just a difference that I saw that makes things look
definitely.
It might
real.
have been easier to have them look scratched and dirty when it's a physical costume.
Definitely.
Otherwise, you have to keep an actual thing like pristine, and that's difficult given what they're doing.
Right. And even later on when like the stormtroopers are on Tatooine and there's just like sand all over their uniforms and stuff, like it just looks better.
Yeah.
Use real things.
Yes, I agree. When you can use the real thing.
So then Darth Vader comes in, and you immediately get that Vader music, which I think the music in Star Wars, which, I mean, no one's arguing that this isn't a huge part of it, but it does such a good job of being able to tell who is what and what they stand for and what they represent.
Very good themes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I kind of had the same feelings with Lord of the Rings. I don't know if those movies would be nearly as good if it wasn't for the music. A lot of the themes and the scores and like it's that music makes the movie sometimes, I think. Anyway. Great score goes a long way.
So then they go, Princess Leia gives R2-D2 his little transmission.
Call me Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You're my love. And then the stormtroopers set their phasers to stun for the only time.
Which reason?
For the only time in the movie. And I guess they want information from her. And so then
they did say don't shoot to kill.
Right.
Yeah, so we need to keep her alive.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's an ability that stormtroopers have that's not used at any other point in any of the movies, I don't think.
No, and the whole, and I guess it's not a cliche because it is what it is. The whole stormtroopers can't aim for shit.
Oh
They're just shooting around, and everyone's just all right.
So many explosions going on behind.
Which they, we can talk about it maybe later, but when they're talking about they find like the sand people's little caravan. Like, no, this is too precise.
Right.
Must be Imperial. It's like, are you sure about that?
We're not seeing them being precise.
Yes. So R2 and C-3PO get into the escape pods and are jettisoned off. And
there's no life form in here.
They have their targets set on it, and they're saving on lasers. Like, is there a finite amount of light that they are able to shoot at things?
Yeah, and wouldn't they think of, hey, maybe she put the message on here somehow?
Just plans.
Yeah, just plans. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's inconsistent.
Way to go.
Waiting.
Empire.
To kind of push it back a little bit, did you ever think that the Fox News music was part of the Star Wars theme back in, like, when you were a kid? I always associated the two with each other for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah. I always associated the Fox News with the Star Wars theme. I thought that was like the intro to the Star Wars theme.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah. But that's a fun thing. Yeah. I guess that means that you're like into, like, I don't know, I guess you watched Star Wars a lot, and that's the way it starts.
Yeah.
So then you're into it.
Yeah. It's like, this is a Star Wars movie.
Did you guys ever watch the Star Wars movies without knowing that Darth Vader was Luke's father?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I did either, just because it was so...
I must have watched them at a very early age then, because I've always just put those two together. I don't remember a time where I was like, that was revealed. It was too young.
So, C-3PO and R2-D2 land on Tatooine. They have a little fight.
Yeah.
So how do they not know it's Tatooine? Okay, here's the thing, and it's really unfair to the movie. But just after watching the prequels, the whole time, it's like, well, how do they not know it's Tatooine? They were there before, multiple times.
Right.
Well,
they get their memories erased.
When?
At the end of...
they do?
Of
okay.
Jedi.
I guess I didn't pick that up.
Revenge of the Sith.
They
mention...
Okay.
They mention it, and that's why they don't remember Obi-Wan.
There you go.
Or whatever.
Okay.
I apologize then.
That's convenient for sure.
Okay.
Right.
Very convenient.
But their relationship, and their like back and forth is so good, and C-3PO is so much better in this movie than he is in the prequels. Obviously, he has some moments in the prequels, but like he's actually funny. Like there are some his like little banter with R2-D2. I will actually laugh at.
And I think R2-D2, and they did it well in the Force Awakens. I think droids just are funnier than Jar Jar speaking characters. Just because they just emote.
Take that back.
They emote so much emotion, through just the little clicks and boops, and it's, I don't know, I dig that more than
redeeming.
Yeah. I dig that.
So then they get captured, and then they get brought to a rad robot garage sale.
Yeah.
Where they just come by your house. That's pretty nice.
Convenient.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's, I think, where Jeff Bezos got his idea.
Right, exactly.
All his Prime Now stuff.
And then you see Luke for the first time. Luke is not in the first 17 minutes of the movie.
I wrote that down too. 17 minutes.
Man, that suspense when you think R2-D2 is about to get shipped off with the little
left
sand
behind,
and then nope. He's saved.
I did dig that little red droid though. I think I had an action figure of him.
Yeah, he did look cool.
Mm-hmm.
He just couldn't keep it together.
No.
He rolled 5 feet and just exploded.
Too excited.
He has a bad motivator.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened to Jake Lloyd.
C-3PO, they go and they talk to him, and he says
one more thing. I think when you talk about bad writing or just lines that you recognize, the Tashi station to pick up some power converters.
Yeah.
I think that's always kind of a cheesy one I think of.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, that's where, like, all the cool kids go.
Tashi station to pick up some power converters.
We gotta go pick up, I gotta go pick up some power converters.
I do kind of like, though, how... it's like the verbiage that they use, like they say a lot of words and things that are not explained.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just talked about. This
future talk.
This is
right.
how we talk. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to know exactly what it is, but it really puts you in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the emotion that it's said with. Like, it's obvious, like, oh, this is something that he does with his friends that's more fun, but he has to work for his uncle, and it doesn't matter what the context is.
Right.
As long as it's delivered like you would be like, oh, I want to go to the mall with my pals.
And Luke had it was a more relatable kind of struggle where he just wants to, he wants to go, he wants to be somewhere else,
Very
sort of
much.
that the hero who wants to go on an adventure, and like very much like Lord of the Rings or any other kind of story about a hero leaving.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get involved in all this, but when the opportunity presented itself, he's going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
C-3PO says he's programmed in etiquette and protocol again.
Yeah.
Which is what he was. I guess he was brought in to help on a farm. So there is some need for an interpreter.
He said he knew about moisture farming or something.
Right, because he worked with somebody from it. But he said, I'm not much more than an interpreter, which is, again, Anakin making a weird robot to help out his mom.
Damn it, Anakin.
In the prequels.
A fussy interpreter.
So then they go, and he gives C-3PO his bath, or whatever, where he gets dunked in.
Yeah.
Where is the hologram of Leia recorded from?
Yeah, way up high, it seems like.
It's an intense fisheye lens, maybe.
Yeah.
They also, the holograms look great, too, in kind of everything. I think they just kind of, like, run it through a VHS and maybe just pound on it and striate it a whole bunch. Because it just looks really cool, and it's kind of weird to think about how, I mean, maybe other movies did it first, but I think this is kind of where holograms... People are like, oh, that's how that's supposed to look. It's supposed to look like the thing from
that
Star
would be
Wars.
Interesting to...
It's still... I mean, it's definitely older, but it still holds up. It looks really good.
It looks like a recorded...
Yes.
An old recorded message.
Yeah.
That you would.
Mm-hmm. And even the ships, I'm very impressed with the ships, how they look in this movie.
Yeah.
All the sets are really good.
Yeah.
So then Luke goes and talks about how he wants to join the Starfleet, basically.
Yeah.
And his uncle's like, oh, I don't know, we just need one more harvest, and then we can go, and you'll go and join next year. And he's all bummed, which is, I think it's a pretty good and like, for everything insane and, like, star things, there's a huge war in a galaxy with all these weird weapons and things. At its core, it's a story that you kind of know that this guy, he just wants more out of his life than what's currently given to him.
Yeah, I think watching that, it's you see a little bit of like moodiness out of Luke, and you think to yourself, okay, so they're it's like I guess maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe when they were writing Anakin, they were trying to give him that same kind of moodiness, and so do a little father-like son deal. But one, Luke's is way more relatable, and two, it's also not just like thrown in there without any sort of explanation.
Right.
It's like, okay, this is what's happening, and he's upset about it. It's not all of a sudden Anakin is so pissed off about Obi-Wan being like a mean dad.
Yeah.
They also, Luke goes and he like storms off after, and
didn't even drink his like Soylent.
Right. And Aunt Veru is just kind of like, oh, and you're so tough on him. He just wants to do this. He's got a whole lot of his father in him, and he's like, oh, that's what I'm afraid of. So I feel like there were kind of there are hints at some things.
It seemed like they were building up to it being that his father was alive, but he was a Jedi warrior, not Vader.
Right.
Because, they were building up to something, 100%. It was never just kind of thrown in there, like, because it did make sense, because there was all these talks about his father multiple times. And so I think it's a cooler idea if he's Vader, but I think they were maybe thinking it more that he was a good guy, and it would like be revealed.
Right. They definitely just kind of took that Obi-Wan speech, and they were like, oh, he was just kind of protecting you from the truth.
Yeah.
And we're able to spin it, but it was written kind of open enough to where you could mess with the interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess the only time that they've done like a really successful reveal was like they couldn't ruin it because they weren't planning on doing it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And also, there just wasn't the internet back then, or message boards, or
you predict everything.
Yeah.
So then Luke goes back to cleaning the droids, and R2 takes off after pranking Luke into removing his little bolt thing that kept him from playing the full message. It's a freaking lie. So then Luke goes out on a speeder, tracks down.
Which that speeder shot is so funny.
Right.
It's clearly like a toy it's like a miniature on a set.
Right.
It's
so far away, and then they're just like talking to each other with heads straight forward. And so then the sand people jump out, and
they always
they go and they get Luke. And then Obi-Wan comes to save the day.
He's just like,
yeah, he walks in and gives like the craziest scream.
Like, oh, shit. Gotta get out of here.
So then they go and he brings them into his little house,
and he says,
which is never seen.
Yeah, and he says he hasn't gone by Obi-Wan since before he was born. Another bad retconning.
Right.
And just a lot of sort of inconsistencies with that. I feel like it would have been very easy just to take notes during the movie and be like, okay, well, we need to hit these points when we make these prequels. But
I'm sure there was a copy of the script for Revenge of the Sith where Padme's like dying, and Obi-Wan's like, call me Ben now, please.
Please call me Ben.
Please call me Ben.
If you call me, everyone else will call me Ben.
And it's just like, he's an old man. Whatever. Doesn't quite remember the things. But also, it's just like bad retrofitting.
Yeah.
And then Luke, you fought in the Clone Wars? Which is, of all the lines that were kind of said without any sort of context or anything, that's the one that sparked the 3 movies.
Yeah.
which is kind of funny because whenever like the Clone Wars start and Yoda is like, "It is the beginning of the Clone Wars." Like,
Yeah.
This is what it's called now.
Oh yeah, we all know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Did Obi really fight in the Clone Wars? Was he really fighting? I guess
He fought General
I guess he did.
Grievous
Yeah, you're
and-
right. Yeah, never mind.
So it says that the Jedi were guardians of peace in the galaxy. Yeah, they'll negotiate your trade
Yeah.
problems.
They're more like politician bodyguards.
Right, yeah.
Peaceful exchange
Yes.
of currency and goods.
And another line, sort of, kind of going further out when, well, you know, we'll get to it when we get to it. Keep going. Yeah.
And then they explain the Force
Yes.
as well. And they explain it's an energy field created by all living beings, which is cool.
Yeah, it's cooler than Metachlorians.
And be like, oh yeah.
Now, do you get Spare Wars stuck in your head with some of these lines? You know, the
Spare Wars?
ticket bit Spare Wars they did back in the...
I've heard that once.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Man, I put it in the Bad Radio Weekly wrap up every now and then.
Oh yeah.
So I listen to it a lot. So a lot of that as when he's like, binds the galaxy together. I just think of fake Randy Galloway saying, binds the galaxy together, binds the galaxy together. So we'll take it for you.
Hey. So then they go and they play the full message, and Leia's out there saying all the stuff. I have all this battleship info. We gotta get it to Alderaan. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Which
Help
is
me, Galloway Kenobi. You're my only hope.
there's so much. There's so many like iconic lines.
Yeah.
In this movie, I guess there's
Even the I got a bad feeling about this was a
Right.
few times in there.
and then Obi-Wan is like, "Hey, you got to come with me." And Luke's like, "I got work to do," and which would be hilarious if that's how it ended.
Yeah.
And
All
he
right.
just goes back to moisture farming.
And I love how, like, when he's about to leave, Obi's just kind of like, "Oh no, don't go. Okay, that's too dangerous. No, please don't. No, don't leave. Oh no." He's just standing there.
if they, well, oh wait, before that, then we go back and get a little bit of politics talk with Grand Moff Tarkin and Vader, but that's more of just kind of giving Vader a chance to be kind of badass.
And also, Tarkin, I think we might have been a little too... I don't think we did the review. Did we do a review of Rogue One? No, we didn't. We talked about it, though, right?
Well, we might have. We did talk about it. I don't remember when we would have. Maybe it was that first
I don't know.
episode. I don't know.
But, you know, I think we kind of gave Rogue One shit about Tarkin looking very CGI. He looks like CGI as a human being.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a man.
He looks
he's
very
got
odd.
so many like angles to his
Yes.
face.
Yeah, he's a very CGI looking person.
Looks
so.
kind of like a Megamind kind of.
Yeah, so maybe we're a little hard on Rogue One. Because he's kind of CGI anyway.
Yeah, Vader starts just like choking a guy when they're talking about.
He says ancient religion. I mean, all the Jedis were killed like 30 years ago. Is that really ancient?
Oh yeah, they were widespread.
Yeah.
And then
Now it's an ancient
Things change
myth.
fast in the past.
I guess so.
Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. True.
let's see. So then we go back and Luke goes and they see all those highly concentrated, amazing shots from Imperial stormtroopers on the Sand People.
Must
and then,
be Imperial.
Mark Hamill, who I didn't really go on to do much as an actor. From
He
this,
did a lot
Rigsby
of good
Bear.
voice stuff.
He
He's
did.
the Joker, and
Right,
all that.
but
yeah, I hear you though. He's not like a he's
and
not
I don't-
famous.
I wonder if that's, how much is him being Luke Skywalker? Because is Daniel Radcliffe a good actor, or is he just?
Man, he's been doing some alright stuff since Harry Potter.
He's done some things,
Yeah.
but he's not in as much stuff. He does stage
No.
things, and because people are like, oh, it's Harry Potter. But
Did you see Swiss Army Man?
I did not.
It's the weirdest movie
I've
I've
not
ever
seen it
seen.
yet, but
The trailer
it's
made me laugh.
It's a bit that kind of dies.
Oh, really?
Pretty quickly. I didn't hate it, but it's bizarre.
Okay.
I think the line when he's like, well, that means they would track the droids, and that would lead them back. home. Like, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun, like, realization,
Yeah.
like, line, and then he goes and runs off home and sees the fucking brutal corpses of his aunt and uncle.
I think he also, the whole face injury, I think might have hindered him from being an actor.
I guess, yeah.
Also, he didn't age very well. And, like, he's very, he's very
cute,
boyish.
He's a cute boy.
He's a cute boy. And it was sort of the same with Malcolm McDowell. Like, he, Clockwork Orange, like, he's this bright-faced boy, and then he just gets old real fast.
But then he has, like, a kind of a second career as an older
yeah,
man.
very true. And same with kind of Hamill, like, doing voice work. So I think that's sort of what happens is you don't age well and you're not. I don't know. I think being Luke did maybe hinder him as well. Mm-hmm. Which I think you could track Malcolm McDowell and his career pretty similarly, because they kind of played iconic characters and kind of were stuck with that.
Yes. So then they go off to Mos Eisley, the worst place of scum and
villainy,
filth in the universe.
My freaking
a lot of CGI.
I wrote down the when they walk into the cantina.
Because I
wrote down like, hell yeah, cantina music.
Yeah, I wrote best Star Wars music is cantina music.
Absolutely.
Do you know what that cantina music is called?
What?
Jizz. George Lucas says that band plays jizz
music.
Either that was said at a time before a slang term was invented,
or George Lucas.
But there's no way because jizz is just short for jism.
Right.
So I have to imagine people have been saying jizz for decades.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's his spin on jazz. He's like, haha, we'll change it. It'll be jizz.
This will get past the censors.
So then they go around and we were talking about in the prequels how they kind of show so many different aliens and stuff.
This one,
looking back, this one does it a bunch too, and I think that's more of kind of a world building thing where there's just like a bunch of things. So maybe we were kind of too hard on that, and there were other things in the prequels that were obviously, hey, let's sell toys of this.
Yeah. I feel like for some reason in the prequels, like there were so many like bug creatures.
Yeah, I never liked bug creatures in general.
Little guys with wings and stuff. Whereas these are mostly like humanoid or like human sized because they're mostly like people in costumes.
Pigman, there'll be like Walrus Dude, there's the actual devil.
Yeah, Satan's in there.
It's just like, oh yeah, this is a place of filth and villainy.
Yeah.
There's just the devil.
Yeah, they had some cool kind of creature costumes in there. The pig nose guys always creeped me out. This kid, never liked him.
Yeah,
I liked him, but never liked him.
This was our first dose of limbs getting cut off.
Yes. Limb cut off with butt face man.
Yeah.
Which in the prequels they talk about how, it's a big moment when Anakin kills the man who had been holding the Emperor of the. Or I guess, I don't know if he was emperor at that time, but the guy in charge, the chancellor of the whole Senate, and he killed the guy who was doing it. He said, that's not the Jedi way. And in this one, Obi-Wan cuts off a guy's arm for being mean to his friend at a bar.
But he didn't kill him.
Right.
So they can cauterizes the wound.
They can ruin people's lives, but you can't take a life.
Right. It's like Batman, You can crush a person, but you can't paralyze him, but you can't kill him.
Right.
It's all right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So then they go and they meet up with Chewbacca and Han Solo. 48 minutes into the movie, Han Solo makes his appearance, and he's immediately awesome.
Yep.
This is like, I don't know. I know when we talked about Blade Runner, I was like, why was Harrison Ford so? I don't know. Why was he an A-list actor? It's like, it's just this role is just so great.
That and Indiana Jones, he plays that very
Indiana
well.
Jones is also the same. But like this was what really.
Because have you ever seen anything he's done before? Like he was in The Conversation. Did you ever see The Conversation?
I have not.
And he was in that and Apocalypse Now, and he played very different characters in those. Like he kind of played more. They're more like proper and serious kind of characters.
Who was he in Apocalypse Now?
He was one of the military.
Yeah, he had like a very small scene.
I guess I don't.
At the very beginning.
Guess I didn't realize it was him.
When they were like briefing Martin Sheen, I think he was in that sequence. Growing up, I was a little blonde boy, and my brother was very brunette. he loved Han Solo, so I loved Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So that's how I always perceived the character as like, oh,
Like a
Luke was the cool one
Right.
growing up. So when I later find out like Han Solo is one of the coolest characters, I started like when you see people talk about films or whatever.
Sure.
I'm like, what? No, it was Luke that was cool.
Yeah.
So it's fun to go back and like rewatch and just be like, okay, yeah, Han Solo is freaking awesome.
The Greedo scene I didn't have subtitles
same
for,
here.
which is
Right.
a bummer.
Yeah.
But you can. I'm sure you're.
No,
going
go ahead.
I was just going to talk about the reanimation of that
Shooting
sequence,
first.
which is
Just- he
so
goes,
freaking hilarious.
There's like a really weird, almost like jerk
Yeah.
in it. It's
It's like the amount because they're able to like do some pretty good CGI and like when they're I wish I want to watch it without the remastered CGI. But whatever they did to make him dodge, which is like his dodge is nowhere even near where the blast was. He was never gonna get
Right.
hit anyways. It just takes you out of it for sure. And it's hilarious. But that's
do
a
we,
funny
do we
scene.
want to do a whole conversation on Greedo shooting first, or is that kind of?
I mean, I get why they would
Yeah.
reanimate to make him look like less of a bad guy. I guess they
Yeah.
want to paint the best picture of all their stars. But it doesn't. It feels less authentic when. I mean, obviously, it looks less authentic too. But it's cool that he would just like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm
He-
gonna
he-
just shoot you.
Definitely goes through and I kind of forgot the whole motivation of his character was money.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that. Like,
he
he's
very
just-
plainly
he makes
states
that clear.
Yes.
just the only thing I care about is the reward.
Yeah, that's
Like,
all, yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah, I kind of forgot
I'm
that.
not
I
in
think
it for the or like for the honor.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
in it
people
for the
forget that
cash.
too about him. When they talk about his character as well. But I mean that's a tribute to Harrison Ford, probably. But yeah, that's interesting.
Then there's the scene with Jabba when
Yeah, he looks so bad.
I'm pretty sure that was a scene. I could be totally wrong on this. I'm pretty sure that was a scene that was cut from the original movie, and it was added back into the other ones to be like,
You might be right about that.
because it was a way to show Jabba, be like, oh yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
cool if we brought Jabba in, and they kind of shot it and then didn't have anything
I
to do with
remember
it.
seeing like a behind the scenes where just some fat dude walking around. I think they shot it back. I mean, they definitely shot it.
Right.
I don't know. You might be right about that. I heard that.
It doesn't. It's exactly the same as the Greedo scene.
Yeah.
They talk about the exact same thing, except it's just directly to Jabba
Yeah.
instead of
There are other
to
Greedos.
Greedo to pass it to.
Yeah. I don't know why it was so weird to see other Greedos, and I'm like, I guess there are multiple races, but it just like weird to see
all
three
wear
other
the
Greedos.
same jacket.
Yeah, there's many Greedos out there, so like you don't feel that bad that he killed one Greedo if there are like 100 of them.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's just a
True.
Greedo.
It's not like an Anakin level massacre of
No,
people.
right.
They killed the children too.
So then Han is just like working on a ship, and the stormtroopers come in, and Han has a blaster in his hand immediately. He's just like fixing something, and then he goes off and shooting.
Well, you got if you're a hustler, if you're going
gotta be
around,
ready.
You gotta be ready for a fight, man. You gotta have your piece.
So then they go and they take off, and they head out.
And then it's back to Leia, which they pronounce it Leia in this, and then they go with Leia. I think in the rest of the movies.
Really?
I hear some Leias and Leias. I think.
Yeah, it's
I think
kind of back
depends
and
on
forth.
the actor for whatever, which would be kind of realistic. Not
Right.
everyone would
Sure.
know how to pronounce it.
Because my sister's name is Leah, and she gets Leia sometimes. I think mainly because of the movies, but yeah.
They also call Darth Vader, instead of Vader, they call him Darth.
Yeah.
Which would
Hey, what's up, Darth?
which would just be like, hey, mister,
Yeah.
because it's like his title.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe they hadn't like established.
Right. I think
That
that's
Darth-
definitely what
right.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
So then they go and she's like, we're gonna destroy Alderaan if you don't tell us where the rebel base is. And
She's
then,
like, oh, it's in Tatooine, all right.
and then they're like, destroy it anyway.
Yeah.
And then they blow it up using a video switcher, which they very clearly have. It's a old video
Yeah.
switcher, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would have been.
That's a fun like high stakes thing. And then when they jump out of light speed and they're just like there's not a planet there, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, maybe there's there's something over by that moon.
Maybe someone deleted it from the files.
From the
archives.
Well, if it's not in the archives, it doesn't exist.
Oh no.
And then just like to kind of give the size and there's
no moon.
Even
That's
in
no moon. Yeah.
Even in this world where we've seen all this crazy stuff, this is even crazier than the craziest thing.
But as advanced as the society was, they clearly don't understand like how moons work.
Right.
There's not just a moon floating.
Right. There's probably just a moon there with nothing else around it.
Nothing orbiting. Nothing to orbit.
But what's a cooler line? That's no moon or that's no planet. I don't know.
Either one.
Yeah, either one probably
it
sounds cool.
It's nothing worth getting hung up on.
Sure.
It's still a cool line. And
so then they go and they get sucked into the Death Star
tractor beam.
by the tractor beam. They go off, steal some stormtrooper outfits. Obi-Wan says, I'm going to take care of the tractor beam. You guys get the princess. And it's a deal. So then they go into... They have Chewie in his handcuffs, and they do that whole bit. They go, they blast away, kill everybody that they need to, and I think
Luke just knows how to use a blaster now. I mean,
he's in.
probably played some like Big Buck Hunter or something video games
sure,
on Tatooine.
sure, yeah,
of course.
Yeah, they got all those there.
He used to bullseye womp rats from however far away, but that was in planes. I think probably the first scene of Han being really cool and awesome is when he goes and is just like, oh, we had a little explosion here. Don't worry about it. We got it under control. And then they're like, okay, we'll send some people. And he's like, oh, actually, there's a big old leak. We should probably stay. And then they're like, hey, what's your number? And he's like, and then he just like shoots it with, like, that's him just being like, all right, well, let's go. And I think that's just like the first of a series of him being pretty cool. Because then the kind of escape where they're being chased down the hallway and he and Leia are just in a full-on fight immediately about, oh, well, what do you want me to do, princess? And
that always bugged me, even as like when I was younger. I just felt like, why are you fighting? It felt kind of forced in a way. I don't know.
I think it does a really good job of establishing what kind of characters there are. I think Leia is kind of what they wanted Padme to be in the first one, where she's like, I'm going to take control.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of this, and I don't need no man to take care of me.
And Han Solo wants to be like the kind of the savior. I don't know, not really, but like
he just like doesn't like lip.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do what's best for me.
Yeah,
and if people are giving me grief, that's not what I'm about. I loved the trash scene when I was a kid.
Me too. I always loved that.
It's so nerve-wracking.
Yes.
Because that's terrifying.
There's a lot. It goes from just being sucked underwater by something,
monster.
Which is terrifying.
And they're just like kind of going like I'm just sort of wading through the water with my hand. They don't know where he is.
Yeah.
And they don't even really save him. Luke it just starts closing in, so Luke is released.
Right.
He could have died.
Yeah.
The whole movie would be over. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, and the things going in, like, you know, the crunching in.
Slowly closing in. And, you know, when you're talking about C-3PO being funny, when they stop the things and they're all cheering and 3PO's like, oh, listen to them, they're dying.
That was a great line. That's a very good line. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. They're dying, R2, is what it is. I think another kind of quintessential Han Solo moment, which I know this is like the first movie he's in, and I'm kind of listening, but there's like 6 stormtroopers come around the corner, and then he just charges right after him.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good, and then they run away, and then there's all the stormtroopers there. That whole thing, whether it's them having to swing across the bridge, to I don't know, just kind of everything is really well done.
Yes.
High stakes
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, nothing feels like they're able to put in a lot of like action beats without any of it feeling unnecessary or kind of exorbitant. Maybe.
And
I
it's
mean,
all
it felt like
gratuitous.
The Great Escape or any of these other kind of like infiltration or escape movies where, yeah, it's very tight corridors and there's like these little obstacles and there's, you know, you got to be careful for this thing coming this way. Yeah, it's a lot of that kind of action where it's sort of tight corridors and very, thought it was very well made, well done.
And it's also really good character development while it happens, which I feel in other movies, whether it be the prequels or even Rogue One, I feel they would stop things down to fight.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, okay, and then we have a fight scene, and then it's just kind of silence, and then there's a bunch of really crazy either tricks or cool other things that happen that you don't generally get in this movie, at least. Because then you go to the lightsaber fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And it's slow.
Very slow.
And very deliberate, but it's big, and they kind of set up a bunch of stuff, kind of like as they're walking, like the teacher becomes a master, and all that stuff. But it's high stakes to an extent that you can have in the movie, and then kind of Alex Guinness's like acceptance of his death, like as he looks at Luke, is really really good.
Yeah,
but then I guess in this movie, when you get hit by a lightsaber, either your arm is shut off or you're eviscerated.
I think
that's him saying, "I'll be more powerful than you could ever imagine."
And they did put, and I'll give the prequels credit for this. They did put a line in Revenge of the Sith where I think it was Yoda says, "Hey, your old master Qui-Gon Jinn is on Tatooine and he learns to kind of come back from the dead." So I'm guessing the disappearing was some Jedi power of death or something.
Yes.
I like it. Because he is like talking to him.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that's sort of what they kind of retconned, and I think that makes it make more sense.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then Han goes, they fly off, and they head to the base, the rebel base.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed, there's only really one planet you see in this movie, Tatooine.
Yeah, kind of Tatooine, and then the inside of the Death Star, and then...
Wait, what's the plan? Did they eviscerate Tatooine?
No, they eviscerate
Alderaan.
Alderaan, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's an interesting, you think of Star Wars, and the other two movies go more into like the other planets, but you think of Star Wars as this big scope movie. It's really not. It's pretty small, it's a small movie.
Yeah.
Relatively,
Right. And they kind of go very quickly. They go from this kind of like big action sequence that is kind of nonstop from the time they get on the Death Star. There's not a whole lot there's some sneaking around, but there's enough kind of like different things to stay engaged for a while. And then when they finally escape, they kind of go right back into another attack scene, just like another action sequence. And it's kind of just, all right, we need to do this. And it's like, oh, that's impossible. And then Luke really shows him up. And he's like, actually, it's not that hard. We used to bullseye one of rats from about that size.
And then you're going to do great, kid.
Right.
Quickly changes his tune.
Yeah. And then he just randomly meets a buddy of his. And
right.
Really...
Yeah. Which, Poe Dameron's a pretty awesome character.
Yeah?
And, well, okay, hang on. I like Poe Dameron, but I'm trying to keep, I guess, everything straight in my head. Oscar Isaac.
Uh-huh.
He's also playing Poe.
He is Poe Dameron, yeah.
He is Poe Dameron. And so Poe is like the same age, but I'm trying to think of the age progression.
Wait.
When do we see? Maybe I'm getting characters mixed up in my head as far which
There's
movies.
no one named Poe in this movie.
No one.
Wait, so who is the?
There's Wedge.
Portkey, who's the best?
Who is
or
who is the friend that he meets?
I think that's Wedge.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought he said Poe.
No. That's no.
My bad.
That's all good.
Because I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Do you think there are any kids that are actually named Wedge?
Maybe in like Mississippi. I don't know.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
I'm gonna go on
Wedge.
Facebook and see if I can find a Wedge.
All right. We'll see.
First name
I'll
Wedge.
I'll buy you dinner.
Hey, Wedge.
Last name none.
Just Wedge.
Let's see.
Maybe it's short for something.
Wedge Smith.
There you go.
Ooh, he's got a Transformer as his profile picture.
Sounds like a cool guy.
He's part of the World Turtle Racing Federation.
All right, let's get him on the podcast.
This sounds like the
Let's
most
get him on the
interesting
show.
Wedge.
Also,
Send him an invite on the show. We'll get him on.
okay,
We'll talk to him.
I'll try to see what's going on with Wedge Smith.
Yeah.
All right, you should also see if there's anyone named like Pulley. And then just get all the
Lever.
simple,
Ramp.
all the simple tools.
There's Wedge O'Malley
Wedge O'Malley.
went to Richardson High School.
Oh, get Wedge on. We have a Wedge roundtable.
Wedge has a sick lifted Ford.
as he should,
and
in true Wedge fashion.
Yeah, classic Wedge.
Yeah. Always up to doing things.
He shared a video of a twerking mummy.
Huh.
What a cool guy.
Can you share that with me, maybe?
I don't know.
I
Spencer's
hear
really
I hear twerking mummy, and I'm in.
Yeah, so then they kind of go and they fly their ship around, and then they blow up the Death Star. I don't know. I don't really have...
I think they did it's the whole Star Wars, at least the first one, I guess the whole original trilogy, kind of, their scenes were so made for video games. I know it's all going back to video games, but yeah, I think like the whole trench going in and the obstacles and then like in Empire getting the AT-ATs down, like a lot of these scenes were made for like video games, playing them. A lot of these action scenes are, yeah.
Yeah, they seem very video game-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And
also, why was Darth Vader flying? Like, wouldn't he be in like protection mode? Wouldn't he be in his like bunker?
You don't go into the Super Bowl and rest your number one player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like Darth Vader though. Like he's the most powerful person besides the Emperor. Why wouldn't you just?
He's also the number one pilot.
Yeah, little Annie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have seen him flying and just go, now this is pod racing.
They should have added that in post, yeah. Now this is pod racing. And let's see here. Award ceremony, Chewie with no award.
Yeah, but he lets out that he gets the final word.
Yeah.
And also they were definitely trying to have a love triangle between Luke and Han and Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were definitely trying to do that until they made him his sister.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they do it in Empire as well.
Uh-huh.
Because it starts off where they're kind of like dating, and then she goes and she kisses Luke just to rub it in.
Yeah, maybe they really didn't know that Darth Vader was going to be Luke's father until like that scene.
Yeah.
And it was ad-libbed.
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
Because wasn't it Yoda said that you had a sister? Was that
Jedi?
Jedi?
That's in Jedi.
Okay, so maybe they put that in there in Jedi.
Also, Han just coming in and screaming Wahoo.
Yeah.
How would anyone know what was going on?
Yeah.
It's just on a communicator. They're just kind of staring at a map. Everybody in the base just kind of figuring what's going on and listening to radio chatter, and Han just yelling Wahoo.
Yeah.
And Luke, like, he can't see what's going on behind him.
Yeah. Speaking of like yelps, the R2-D2 yelp is the greatest. I love it so much.
I know, he's the best. He's the best comedian in the whole movie.
I I think I'd mentioned this to Adam when I was watching it. It's amazing how much better the movie looks because it's not everything is not on a green screen. Everything is not tried to be dressed up and look so fantastic.
Right.
The simplicity of it, like the sets, everything just looks so much more memorable and impactful, and rather than it being so over the top. So I really enjoyed that.
For sure. I don't know. What do you think overall about this movie?
Yeah, I mean, it holds up. It's a lot more of a smaller. I mean, you know, it's more compacted than I remember. I tend to kind of mix more so Jedi and Empire together in a way. Like I can't. There's certain scenes I can kind of take apart, but some things not really. And so, yeah, I mean, it was. I think it still holds up as a very, very good visual movie, and yeah, I mean, I still really liked it.
It is. It's weird that it's because it was made to be a one-off, like obviously with room for growth or whatever, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, they left Vader alive. The main villain didn't die. I mean,
Right.
they definitely left it open.
Right.
It was left open.
But
And was the Emperor ever mentioned?
No,
Not at all.
Not
in
at
this
all.
One. Wow.
And I'm trying to think if he's really mentioned that much. I think he's mentioned in the next one, and kind of like the Lando stuff. But I don't know. I just think that a movie like this today would be written with a lot more leaving for sequels.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, essentially like how Force Awakens was, where there's so many extra plots things that they kind of bring up that you know they're going to bring back later, but it's just not as tight of a movie because of it. And it's seeing it as 3 movies from the beginning as opposed to I don't know how to describe it, even like a 3-part.
Well, yeah, I mean,
thing.
it's hard to see that because you know it as a trilogy, you know,
Right.
so it's hard to kind of think, okay, this is the only movie because you know there's others, but yeah, I mean, it definitely left it open, but yeah, it was very tight as far as there was an ending, there was a, you know, Death Star blew up, most of the generals and people blew up with it, you know, so it was very a definite ending, but it didn't really expand past that ending, but no, it was, yeah, you're right, they would try to make it more of a, you know, a series or a a franchise if it was made today, 100%, as most things are. I don't know when that's going to stop.
How many?
You think they'll ever stop? When people will there ever be a time where like just do one?
No. I would say just they're going to lean on sequels forever from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder so they have a Solo and a Lando, like.
Do they have
kind
a
of-
Lando movie?
Lando's going to be in the
Lando's
Solo
Solo.
movie.
Lando's cast. All right. So they only have one more spin-off, I guess, really planned
After
or
this.
written, and it's a character-specific one. So I do wonder if so then yeah, I guess I don't know if they do another like kind of one-off Star Wars story movie, if they would be like plan it as a one-off spin-off, but it's like new characters that are good enough or received well enough. But I do have a hard time believing, like you guys said, that they wouldn't do sequels. Because if they write this movie and they make it, I think they would have a pretty good idea that they have something. If they do have like a new character, that's great.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you got to give props though to Rogue One, where they did pretty much kill off all the characters. You know, it's like, okay, this is one off. This is what you're getting.
Right.
I got to give props to that.
Which I didn't care because I didn't
Exactly,
care about
yeah.
any of the characters in Rogue One.
I like the samurai guy, but yeah.
He was
Yeah.
all right. He was pretty cool, but everyone else was just so flawed and just not all that interesting to me.
They had a huge cast, which they didn't have enough time to establish.
Right.
They just had too many characters.
Yeah. All right. So how many laughs and a halves?
I'll give it 5 laughs and a half. So just give it 5.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
no reason to cut it down at all.
I'll give it 4.5 laughs and a half.
Okay. Be the contrarian.
It's because
I know.
it's just that's just my I think it's
Yeah.
great, but it wasn't like I don't have like the I really like Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I don't have the adoration for it.
No, I'm with
like
you.
some other people do.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good.
Yeah. No,
really awesome. I think on another day I might give it a 5, but
sure.
Today is not that day.
Today is not that day.
Yeah. Well, that's Super FilmsCast 64 for this week. Next week, I say, well, Empire and Jedi, right? You want to do those two, or do you? Because we have 1 week after that for Force Awakens. Do you just not want to do Force Awakens? Maybe
we definitely need to do Force Awakens.
So,
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely got to do Force Awakens.
So you want it because it's going to be Disaster Artist. We can always do 2 podcasts. I don't know if you guys want to do that. I mean, we could do a very long Disaster Artist, and we could do kind of what we did last time, where we do Disaster Artist, and then we do Jedi and Empire and Jedi, and don't do any news.
We can try to do that.
Okay. We can try to do that.
We'll see.
When does? Did we already say this? When does Last Jedi release?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, so that would make
or
it
3 weeks or something. So we got 2 more podcasts before
Okay.
the podcast for Last Jedi.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So be expecting all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So if you're listening at home,
Yes.
see the Disaster Artist. Watch all of the Star Wars movies.
Yes.
I don't think we'll talk about Rogue One, so don't worry about
No, we're
Rogue
not going to
One.
do that. Yeah.
But do that.
Yeah. Do that. Yeah, thanks, guys. Where can people find you guys in the world?
I am on Twitter at the Fullertron. Check me out there.
Have you gotten any followers from this podcast?
I don't. I may have a christener or two.
Oh, a Chris in there? Okay. I think Perry Dactyl follows you. He's a buddy of mine who listens to the podcast.
Maybe he does. I don't know. I don't tweet a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly retweets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty dormant on Twitter at Coach Chucky.
Uh-huh.
But you can find me there if you're interested.
Yeah.
You can see some of my tweets from like 2012.
Yeah. I tweet a lot.
I burned Bill Simmons pretty good earlier this week.
Ooh.
Got some heat.
Is he one of the most burnable guys out there? I'm gonna look this up.
Did
Gotta
you
lay low for a while after that?
He he tweeted. I'll find it exactly.
Okay.
Just this is not going to be for anyone, but for me, just to relive when I burned Bill Simmons so good.
This is your podcast just as much as it is mine and Spencer's.
So this is when this is after Trump did the whole Time magazine thing where he was like, they were going to name me Man of the Year, but they only said probably, so I said no.
I said no to photo shoots. I don't do that anymore.
Right.
Okay.
So then Bill Simmons said Time magazine needs to create a Fuckhead of the Year issue.
God, he coming in hot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I said, billionaires should pay for their own fucking stadiums. Keep giving it takes. We're all too afraid to say, Bill. And just a bunch of random people liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of likes for a random tweet here and there. I once tweeted something to Trump at like 5 a.m. and it was just I think it was something like he was like coming into Texas for a rally, and I just said don't come here or something like that. I said turn around, and I just got a ton of people like, hey, why don't you stick to your mindless video games? Let us worry about the politics, because I have like my podcast.
Stick to politics. Stick to video games.
Yeah, I have like my YouTube. And it was like just random people who saw I had a YouTube channel and all that. So it was fun. It was fun.
The legendary when he tweeted, I guess they were breaking, Deadspin like broke like a lot of the Tiger Woods stuff maybe.
Yeah.
It was the Monte Teo.
Monte Teo stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Trump tweeted at them like doing good work or something, and they just say go F yourself. That's pretty great.
That's great.
So good.
That's great. Well, this is Super FilmsCast 64 again. Do you guys have anything to promote? Adam, you got any shows coming up that the viewer can go see if anyone even listens to this?
Oh, yeah. I'm in
King of the Mountain.
Yeah, my King of the Mountain run continues. December 7th, it's a Thursday, at 8 p.m. I'm going to be competing for a chance at the finals.
Oh, wow.
For the King of the Year, for an long-form improv tournament held in Dallas, Texas. It's at the Dallas Comedy House if you want to come.
Is it going to be you and Heather doing it A-OK, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's a fun
Let me just plug. Flights are never cheaper.
Yeah.
At the end of November, beginning of December. So anyone planning to fly to Dallas to see some improv comedy, Now is the time.
Yeah.
December 7th.
Fly in, Chris
Definitely.
Fields and Perry. Fly in. And
Trey will give you a spot in his house.
Ooh, you might need a hotel. Sorry.
Yeah, they need a hotel, so they got your house, which is like a hotel.
Don't you guys have room? Don't you have a new house with like 50 rooms?
What?
Yeah, you got like a big new house, like a 3-story house. You got like a loft.
Oh, you're talking about my dad's house?
No, your house.
The house that I bought?
Yeah.
That house has 3 bedrooms.
I heard it had like 10. It's like a mansion.
Man, I wish, but
Yeah, it's
no.
like a pool.
Once we start getting that ad revenue for this podcast, I can maybe upgrade.
All right.
Buy a new second house.
Yeah, buy a second
A
house.
summer home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the podcast. You can find us on YouTube, which now we have new thumbnails. I just went ahead and the whole cartoon thing. I don't know where that's even going. I just made new thumbnails on YouTube, and so there's new thumbnails, so they don't all look generic and weird.
Woo.
I saw it. It looks good.
Thank you. So we got new thumbnails. So if you want to go check that out, we're on YouTube at Super FilmsCast 64. Check out the other podcast, Super Gamescast 64 on iTunes, and leave us a review. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think of the show. You can tweet me at CrayTreyVids.
I got one more thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Ariano. I'm going to send you the link to this podcast episode.
31.
That's my father-in-law.
Oh, okay.
He's wanted to listen. He's mentioned wanting to listen to our podcast.
Well,
but
I think we're
I'm
very interested in this one, so it's good.
Exactly.
Hey, John, be sure to check out the Antichrist episode.
Yeah, be sure to check out that.
Oh, don't do that one.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. Have a great time.
Goodbye.
Bye.